Alright everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're here reacting and having a discussion about Reaper's video, titled A Game's Most Miserable Player Base, Dead by Daylight. So I'm curious to see what the topic is about today. We've also reacted to another Reaper video in the past, talking about Lightborn, so we'll have that linked somewhere. But today we're talking about the player base. I'm actually curious to see like what that's about. What are we talking about today, right? And we've already been covering a lot of videos recently that cover that sort of topic, but I'm interested to see other perspectives as well, to kind of see you know, what it's about. I really want to understand more perspectives on this, you know. It's a good way to have a much more sound argument.
If you hate yourself, you gotta play Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight brings out some of the worst people known to man. Dead by Daylight has one of the worst gaming communities ever created. Dead by Daylight online community is so god awful. It's not even funny. Everybody on each side is so entitled. It's crazy.
Yo, that is so true. Bro, yo, that's so true. But it's been said before, you know, nothing new here. We obviously kind of know this already, so nothing too different than what we expect.
Hello everybody, it is Reaper Games, and today I wanted to discuss what I think is the most miserable community in gaming. What if I told you that both sides almost all of the time cry about living or dying? That some people say you have to consider their fun on a regular basis. Well, unfortunately, this is how
you know, it's actually extremely common to hear that, and I've made this point many times beforehand, before this video, and I've been saying that there is a double standard in the community where the killer side is expected to make sure that the survivors have fun, but there is no reciprocation on their end when it comes down to that sort of sentiment. Because when a killer is like doing badly, like struggling to get hooks or kills, the survivors don't ever stop and give them a hook or a kill or a hit, or, you know, or stop healing or stop doing the gens. They don't do anything to sort of give back, right? But if a survivor gives up, they stop chasing, they gotta start pointing. Oh, now you gotta get mercy. Oh, you know, you gotta let me live now. It's like, what do you mean? Like, why is it only on one end but not the other? I'm so confused by that. I still don't understand that sort of concept. Like, it doesn't go both ways. I've said this many times. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
it is for a large number of DBD's player base. To get a better picture of how stupid this is, imagine you play Marvel Rivals and people from the team you're going up against lose. You'd think it's stupid if they cried on and on about how your team needed to make sure they won a round to make sure they were having fun. I won't get into this point too much because my whole channel shows off exactly what I'm talking about. Two videos that specifically come to mind are Killers Just Can't Win and I'm Beginning to Hate DBD. The links for both are in the description and perfectly tie into this video. First up, I wanted to talk about a clip I've seen on TikTok a while ago, which prompted me to make this video. We're starting off easy.
The gardeners have planted white roses when I specifically asked for red.
You could always paint the roses red.
What an odd thing to say.
By the looks of this TikTok, the player who made the video thinks that BMing or teabagging is bad for the community. I'd be lying if I said I never got annoyed at survivors at the gate making me watch them leave, teabagging me, or a killer who hit on hook basically saying, haha, I got you. The problem I have is many people in the DBD community think that these in-game actions are toxic. You will most likely hear this word a lot in this video because this singular word is the most overused word in this game's community. The one
thing I will say that agree to some extent. The difference I would say is that it usually is followed by like the extra in the end game chat, you know? Like it's but in itself it's not toxic or problematic on its own, because in any game that you can crouch in, people always do this. So it's more so what leads after, which is which is sort of the problem, you know? And I do find it funny because a lot of players that tend to do that, right? Like they're trying to bag, and usually out of frustration, the second that they get instantly downed, right? Because they're trying to get a reaction out of the killer player. In my experience, like when they tend to bag that hard and then they just get like instantly downed and bodied, like they tend to DC instantly. So I think it definitely also ties into different things that they're trying to say with it. And I do think that the intent behind it is always it's always a case by case, in my opinion at least.
The way I see it, teabagging, BMing, or hitting on hook is not toxic. I reserve the word toxic for things like going into endgame chat to tell others to off themselves, weight shame, being sexist, shaming someone on their sexuality, being racist, and all of that other nasty stuff. The reason why I have an issue with this TikTok is because the people who usually bring up how teabagging is toxic or is bad for the community are usually either teabagging themselves, or they're the toxic ones using the action of BMing as an excuse to actually be toxic themselves. This isn't the worst example of a miserable community, but it gets worse. When it comes to the caption of DBD players have no empathy, I just find that silly. We're all playing the same game, right? You know, the one where a killer tries to kill survivors. That one? There's this weird section of the community that go as far as question morals of people for just trying to win a game or be cocky during a game.
That I find kind of insane too. We see that a lot in the community. And you see that a lot with salty survivors that are just mad that you're countering their play, countering their strategy, countering that they're swift in some kind of way. You see that all the time, like, oh, you're just being sweaty. It's like, yeah, but you know, I'm countering what you're throwing at me. You know what I mean? It's a competitive sort of sequence. It's a competitive area where it's like, you know, you're trying to win the game by doing a thing, right? So if they're trying to sabo, or if they're trying to, you know, flashlight blind you constantly, or trying to flashbang head on, whatever, like, you know, and you counter it, all of a sudden it's sweaty. It's like, no, they just have experience and they're countering it. Meaning that to them, the only way they have fun is by going against people that are inexperienced, who don't know how to counter it. And in turn, it's kind of unfortunate for the person on the receiving end, because if they don't know how to counter it, they're just, you know, which is why they call it bully squads. They just kind of end up having a pretty, I would say, negative experience. I wouldn't say that they're having fun. So they're having fun at their expense. So if it truly was about the fun factor and you're just trying to, you know, see if you can pull it off, like, it wouldn't really matter if it was sweaty that they countered it or not, right? So it's very hypocritical and definitely doesn't make a lot of sense. On the other hand as well, I don't understand why wanting to win the game is somehow this foreign concept to everybody, when people are getting upset because they didn't win in the first place. That's what we see with these players that are throwing tantrums in in-game chat, right? They point the finger and say, hey, that you wanted to win and that's a problem, but it's like, but you're mad that you didn't win, so that's the bigger issue. Like, literally, you just could have moved on to your next game by now, but you're still sitting in here and typing away. Like, come on now.
So honestly, what I say is teabag to your heart's content. Just make sure if you do so, make sure it's okay for others to do it as well, because if not, that's a double standard. To strengthen my point, here's a game where I went up against a cheater and a commenter said that I was the harmful one for sweating. In this particular game, like any other game, I loaded up with the intention to try and win. During said match, a player was AFK, which led to the other survivors giving up. Some people like to think that when this happens, there's this unwritten rule where you have to let one or two out. The way I see this game, which has helped me mentally, is you can't expect others in a multiplayer game to make the game fun for you. Not every game.
I also am one of those people that does not let everyone escape because one single person decided to be AFK and take a dump before their queue. Like it's really, like, to be fair, that's none of my business, right? Like and I don't know these people. Like, these are strangers. Like, I'm playing the game. I'm the one controlling the character, right? So how does that apply to me as the player, right? Like, it's a team versus team. If somebody goes AFK on the other team in any other game, nobody is stopping the match because that one person isn't playing. There's a lot of factors that go into this. Number one, like, it's a killer versus 4 survivors. So that literally by definition is the opposing side, your opponent, right? So there's still 3 other people that can still run around the map in the meantime while that guy's AFK. So you can literally just keep playing. But I'm going to play normally. Especially because it's not that common anyway. Secondly, if the killer was AFK, the gens don't stop flying, right? The gens don't stop get progress. They don't wait till the killer comes back and then get chased. They keep playing the game until the game's over. Once again, tying back into the double standard that the community has for some reason. All those things that I just mentioned are what come into play with this type of thing. I'm just saying. But it's true. And I don't believe in the idea that you should just let them get a free win. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, like, if their teammate decided to not play the game, tough luck, you know what I mean? We move on to our next game. Like, who cares? It's like, what the heck? Why should I? Like, you're just ruining everybody else's experience? Cool. But the killer wants to have fun themselves as well. You should not be held responsible for other people's fun. And I've said this too, you don't even know what people find fun anyway.
Are you going to win? And that's okay. If you want to win games with ease and have a good time every time, play Mario Party against easy bots. Me and Miss Reaper do that all the time for mindless fun. At the end of the match, I caught up with the cheater, which I didn't know was cheating until this happened. No! Yeah. Bro, what? What? What?
Yo, there ain't no way, bro. He won against a damn cheater. That's crazy word. I think there's a bigger issue with the fact that people really feel the need to start, like, literally sitting there and applying cheats to their game in order to win. Like at that point, it's just pathetic. Like, you can't... like, you can't... I guess learning how to play the game is too difficult, so you have to start literally cheating. It makes no sense. It's mind-blowing. I really don't understand it, man.
This motherfucker has to be cheating, dude. No way! No, he's a fucking cheater. Yep, he's a cheater! Oh my god.
Damn, I didn't know Steam would literally put that in. Golly! Yo, Steam Steam just ratted on him, bro. That's crazy. Freaking Steam ratted on him, bro. It says multiple game bans on record. Almost 1,000 days since last ban, bro. That is crazy. That's crazy work.
Yeah, you're a dumbass. He was actually a cheater. From my perspective, this was obviously cheating, but the nail in the coffin was the fact that this player had a VAC ban stating he's been cheating before. After this game, I uploaded a YouTube short of this encounter because it was too funny not to. Well, this was the comment I got.
Dude wasn't aggressive with them or anything. He just wanted to goof around with you, but you were taking the game like 20 times more serious. Not even letting him leave, for example. People don't deserve free wins, but I swear you people make killers as a whole look bad and sweaty. Calling people that don't want to play bad. You are just as harmful in my opinion.
What's harmful is writing dumbass comments like this, man. Like, this is, like, mind-numbingly stupid. I don't, like, what are you talking about? God forbid he plays the game normally? Like I don't understand this idea that you can't just play your goddamn game the way you want. It's crazy. This is crazy, dude. If he wants to win his game, let him win his goddamn game, dude. Let alone the guy's literally cheating anyway. So, like, what the heck are you talking about? Talk about people don't deserve free wins, but like, so then if people don't deserve free wins, then stop writing your comment, bro. Like, just hit backspace, dog. Like, just get up, get yourself out of there. You literally had time to write all of that, but didn't have any time to think about what you were gonna say before you said it. It makes no sense to me.
From what this guy is saying, because I apparently sweat to get a win, I'm the person in the wrong. Forget the whole point of the video being about a cheater obviously cheating. Let's focus on how I'm the bad guy for wanting to win. Next, I wanted to talk about a tweet regarding DBD's 2v8 mode. 2 killers versus 8 survivors. For context, the killer can have the ability to mori survivors, which means there's a special animation of a killer performing a kill. I'll show you the tweet without much context because it's self-explanatory.
Killers refusing to pick BC, they want mori so badly after the...
Yeah, let me take a look at this. Killers refusing to pick because they want mori so badly after these 15-minute queues that they add me on Steam and attend to stand off for an hour. How is everyone else's 2v8 experience going? So basically what this is showing is a petty survivor that just doesn't wanna like, hold up, but like there's actually like 2 things wrong with this. Number 1, they're claiming that there's 15-minute queues, but survivor queue times are literally less than a minute for each match. Compared to killer that you would literally have to wait literally 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes to get into matches with your friends. Or just even longer probably if you were waiting with like playing solo 2v8 as killer. So that already is objectively wrong. Secondly, intend to stand off for an hour as if it's their fault when you're the one that literally says on your screen, press space to exit the locker. Like, what are you talking about? Huh? Like, this makes no sense. Like, yo. Like, this is the same stuff that you would see back in, like, early DBD, and the same stuff you would see when people had Tombstone Myers, and then they would just sit there and wait, and it's like, bro, like, like, what are you talking about? And I'm glad that they added him on Steam to say we are waiting, because I'm like, yeah, we are waiting. Like, come on, man. And then you're petty enough to say us too. Like, what are you talking about? Just leave the locker, bro. Move on to your next game. Like, the queue time is literally at that time was literally like a minute long barely for survivors. It was like the easiest like queue times for them. I don't even know why he was worrying about staying in there to not get moried. Like, come on now. This is the same thing as those people going next. It's like, what are you gonna do? Do like go into the next match and do the same thing again? Like come on, bro. It's idiotic. I don't understand like this mentality of pettiness. Like, why are you doing that? Like, that makes no sense. Ridiculous, bro. I think it goes both ways, right? Because it seems like one side was petty, right? And then the other side responded with petty. You know what I mean? So like it just like, of course you're gonna stand there for an hour. Like, come on now. How petty, like, how much free time do you have to be sitting in there for an hour straight? Like, there's so much wrong with this, but they want to frame it like, oh, it's the killer's fault. Like, no, it's not. It's you. Like, the hell? Because you decided to go into the locker first. Like, it doesn't matter if they wanted the Mori or not. You're the person who decided to literally go into the locker and stay there. It's like, what the heck is just wrong with people, man?
This tweet, it's nothing too crazy. The killers wanted a Mori, and the survivor didn't want to give it to them. But here's where it gets bad.
We are waiting.
I don't give a fuck. I'll sit here a full hour.
Us too.
To me, the killer that added the person who made the tweet is being lighthearted and memeing around. It's honestly quite funny that one of the killers took a screenshot of the locker that the survivor was hiding in and said, "We're waiting." This looks...
Yo, I literally think that was the funniest part of the whole tweet. Is you just see a locker photo just there on the chat and it just goes, "We're waiting." I'm not gonna lie, that part really added the extra comedy to it, I gotta say. As ridiculously petty survivors can be, I will say that was the funniest part of the situation. It's literally just in 4K, your pettiness right there. Like,
looks like an obvious lighthearted interaction that the killer started, but the reply back is quite odd. Right off the bat, the energy was definitely super negative from the survivor saying, "I don't give a fuck," and threatening to wait an hour in a locker because they don't want to get moried. This reminds me of the other instances where people will sit and waste their time in a locker for an hour just to make sure a killer doesn't get a mori. Hell, I even made a video about it a few years ago.
This man is literally sitting outside the locker waiting for me to come out so he can tombstone me, bro. Like, it ain't never that serious, bro. I've been sitting here for 12 minutes now, and now he want to start moving. Like, I don't understand.
Isn't it more petty and ridiculous for you to be sitting in the locker for that long to just not take a Mori and move on to your next game? Like, is it really that serious? Like, come on, bro. Ain't no way. Come on now.
I don't understand, bro. Like, why do you killers be so goddamn salty? Like, I don't understand, bro. Like, just snatch me out the locker.
Aren't you? Isn't he the one that's salty by sitting in the locker the whole time? Like, what do you? Yo, this community is ridiculous, bro. Like, what do you? Come on, man. This community is ridiculous. Because you got these petty players that want to sit in lockers all day long, but then, because, oh, I don't want to get a Mori. It's like, okay, but you're still going to die anyway. Like, at least get an animation. Like, at the very least, take the animation. It's way better than sitting there on the hook all day long. Like, I'm just saying. Like, golly.
And get the game over with. Like, you wasted my time, dog. I'm glad I'm not streaming, because damn.
It's wasting my time, he says. You are wasting your own time and the Myers time. What are you talking about? It makes no sense. The hell? That is incredibly ridiculous.
To play devil's advocate, you're wasting his time as well. And if we're being real, you're wasting your own time. You even said that you were sitting in a locker for 12 minutes. If you're upset that he's wasting your time, then why don't you just jump out of the locker so we can get that kill?
Stop playing with me, bro. Just take me out. Thank you. Goodness gracious.
My brother in Christ, you sat in the locker for 12 minutes.
You lucky.
Eat shit.
We'll get you next time.
Okay, lil bro.
Well, good luck then.
What really got me in the tweet was the survivor telling the clearly unserious killer, "Eat shit." The dude literally put a gif of a dancing alien. How miserable.
Bro, yo, it's really crazy, man. Because I don't want to promote a sort of us versus them kind of concept, right? Because it's ultimately just not going to create any conversation, and it's not going to create a positive atmosphere for a community and all the other things. But like it keeps it like every time we see situations like these, it keeps boiling down. It keeps boiling down to the survivors doing something like ridiculous. Like in both situations here, they gotta stay in that locker. It's like, bro, why? Like, if you're so worried about wasting your own time or wasting time, leave the locker and get the match over with. You literally would save so much more time by ending the match that way, moving on to your next game. But then you claim it, oh, it's the Myers, it's him, he shouldn't be trying to tombstone. It's like he brought an add-on, he's gonna freaking use it. Like, it makes no sense. But I don't want him to have it. It's like, okay, but you're just gonna go into your next game and get Mori there. Like, come on, bro. What are you doing? Can't sit here and say you're wasting their time, but also wasting your own time. But it is what it is, right? Like, it seems like it's always going that way. And I'm not directly trying to say it's the survivors doing this, but why do we keep seeing the survivors like start initiating this behavior? Like, it's crazy to me. You know, which I'm 100% sure that there are entitled killers as well. I will say that. And we actually did cover a video about that, and that'll be, hopefully I'll remember to link it, or we have it, we can have that you can find it on the channel as well. So,
are you in this game to tell someone to eat shit for trying to win? Not even that, see a kill animation. It's really not that serious. My opinion about locker standoffs are, as a killer, you aren't owed a Mori, but as a survivor, don't be upset for wasting your own time. The survivor who made the tweet clearly is miserable in-game.
Yeah, I want to make that clear as well. I'm not saying that the killer is owed anything in that situation. It's more so like he's just trying to play the game, and their response is petty. And then, of course, then to answer the pettiness that they're obviously putting out, then they are also being petty by waiting, you know, to see how long they're going to sit in that locker. Right? So in my perspective of it, it looks like it gets initiated by the one side, and then the other side is responding to it because they chose to go into that locker. Like, nobody shoved them into it like a like a school bully or something. Like, they're literally pressing spacebar to go in by themselves. So that means that you decided with your own free will to go into that locker yourself and just sit in there for 12 minutes or whatever have you. So you can blame the killers all you want, but it's like you still made the decision to go in there and stay there. Like, you could have easily just went like, all right, he's not pulling me out, let me just come out, get the match over with, move on. Like, and you could just close your game after that. Be like, all right, let me take a break. Cool. On to your next. Like, move on with your day, even. But apparently not.
And made themselves stew even more in their own anger by wasting a ton of time in a locker. For absolutely no reason, might I add. Locker standoffs go both ways, but from what I've seen, especially with this tweet, survivors usually have more of a problem than killers do. Not thinking about the fact that they literally do this to themselves. Alright, enough about salty survivors for a sec. I want to bring this back to killers because as a killer main myself, I expect a higher standard from y'all. On this next TikTok I'm about to show, a killer decides to be one of the most annoying losers that I've ever seen on this game, with the exception of cheaters. The people who do this sort of thing I'm about to show have to be unemployed.
I'm not appreciating this, by the way. Start looking for Hatch. I can't. I didn't want to give him more screen time, but that's my ramen. Oh, I need the ramen. This happens sometimes with when you stream a certain game. People will act incredibly gross and toxic, and it just kind of comes with the territory. Like I said, it doesn't really faze me. Oh my god, wait, are we moving? Are we finally moving? Oh my god, incredible. Finally. You gotta be big fucking me.
Nothing except for cheaters.
So I will say though, at least we found another example for the killer side also being entitled in some kind of way, shape, or form. Now, obviously, we don't have the full context of what could have occurred up to that point. Because I've gone against like some streamers before where I would just play the game normally and then like they would just be mauling, like absolutely like losing their minds and stuff like that. That's sort of the end of it, because obviously I wouldn't know until after the match is done, and I like, you know, I went because I know people like to go in and just like say GGs to people that are live, you know. But you just hear them mauling and insulting you, and it's like, damn, bro, like, is it that serious? But in this case, at least from how it's framed, we can see that, you know, 30 minutes it's a bit excessive, you know. And it goes both ways, as I was trying to say. This is like, I'm glad that we're able to at least include this example as well. We obviously don't know the full context in this situation, but 30 minutes is a bit excessive, kind of unnecessary. Like, you know, like you kind of made your point, you know what I mean? Like, you don't really need to go, not only like do you take it off the game as well, but you go into their streams. Like, that's kind of crazy. Like, why would you need to do all of that? It's just a game. Like, it's just a game, bro. Like, I don't know why they're going out of their way to sit there, and then the person who was holding them hostage in the game literally sits there and has their mod go to the person streaming to start like talking to them. Like, for what? Like, that makes no sense. Why? Like, I don't get it. It's so odd.
Grinds my gears more than players that hold the game hostage. You have two options when this happens. Either DC and take the penalty, or wait over an hour just doing nothing for the game to end itself. Not only is this super pathetic, but it's even worse considering the killer who held the streamer hostage is also a streamer. How miserable are you to stream yourself with your sole purpose making others upset and sabotage their games? I know people think that I bait for salt and I play in a way to get reactions, but I do nothing like this. The difference between me and the killer in this TikTok is I play to win, and that's as far as it goes. What he does is when he sees a streamer in his game, he makes sure they are just as miserable as him by holding their game hostage. By looking at the comments of this TikTok, this streamer is apparently known for doing the same exact thing to others. I swear, people who act like this in DBD are either literal children with no responsibilities or adults with no job or meaningful human contact.
That's actually kind of insane work, but I'm glad we were able to kind of put a spotlight on this topic. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you want to watch the original video, it'll be linked in the description. So go check out Reaper's video, watch the rest of the video, support my channel with the likes, subscribe. You have other links in the description to support. You can follow on Twitch as well to watch me play Killer live. And I'll see you guys in the next one.